Hey guys, Moplox here, back with another countdown video for you all, and the subject is the top 10 RuneScape Firsts. And basically what I mean by that is we're going to talk about some of the very first things done in RuneScape and who they were done by. Now, I got loads of suggestions for this video, but some of them were completely impossible to actually research when it came to finding out which person did it first. So some of you might feel like I forgot some stuff or that I should have included something else other than what is on this list. However, I wanted to include mainly big things instead of small things. I might make another one of these in the future, but for now, I hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's get the countdown started. Number 10. Did you guys know that the very first NPC created in RuneScape were sheep? A lot of people believe that the first NPC has to be Hans, but he's just the first NPC you probably saw after you got off of Tutorial Island. In this video recorded by somebody at RuneFest 2010, you can see the Gower brothers explaining how sheep were one of the very first NPCs ever created in Devious Mud, RuneScape Classic's predecessor. They're basically comparing how sheep looked in Devious Mud versus how they looked in RuneScape Classic. The design of the sheep in both versions of the game are almost identical. Number 9. What you're watching right now was uploaded 9 years ago on YouTube back in 2005 and is 2 months shy of being 10 years old. I can't find any other RuneScape videos older than this one, and even in the description of this video, the uploader says that it could quite possibly have been the very first RuneScape video ever uploaded to YouTube. Within the video, Tim is showing everyone how to do the sheep shearer quest, and you could probably still use this video as a guide today, he says, if you're still playing old school RuneScape. He continues on to say that he made this video before he even became a teenager. The video is choppy and the coloring is very off due to the screen capture systems back then, I'm sure, but it's still cool to look around Lumber's castle and see how different everything actually was. Number 8. RuneScape player Jebrim. So all of you out there who hate agility might find this unbelievable. Jebrim is working towards obtaining 1 billion total agility XP across all 5 of his RuneScape 3 and old school RuneScape accounts. So far on his RuneScape 3 accounts, he has achieved 200 mil agility XP on his Jebrim number 1, Jebrim number 2, and Jebrim number 3 accounts. And then he has another account called Jebrim 4, in which he has split the 200 mil XP on Jebrim 4, meaning that he has 100 mil XP in RuneScape 3 in agility, and 100 mil XP in OSRS 2 for this specific account. The last 200 mil that he's working on right now on Jebrim number 5 is the last bit that he needs in order to have a total of 1 billion experience points in agility across all versions of his account. And if you're wondering what else he was the first to do too, he was actually the very first player in old school RuneScape to achieve all 99s as well. He is absolutely a beast. Number 7. Prior to the release of the skill Divination, the first player to completely max out all of their skills to the 200 mil experience cap was the legend himself, Suomi, or some of you know him as...
Hi, this is Suomidar.
He was also the very first player to achieve 5 billion experience points total once he did reach all 200 mil in all of his stats as well, and one of his biggest inspirations, Suomi says, has always been Zezima. Suomi decided to make 200 million experience in all skills his goal after observing Zezima achieving 200 million in multiple skills. As of December 14th in 2014, Suomi has 200 mil in every single stat except for Divination. In Divination, he has 199,999,999 skill points, meaning that he has 1 point left to 200 mil. He says that he's waiting because he'd like for some other people to achieve the title of rank 1 before he does, which is very nice of him. I've had a lot of conversations with Suomi myself, and he is definitely one of the nicest players that I've ever met. Number 6. Zezima. Arguably by Jagex as being one of the most famous players in the game's history, this player known outside of RuneScape as Peter was the very first player to ever achieve 1 billion total experience overall in RuneScape in June of 2007. He was also the first player to ever achieve 1,980 total level when farming was released, as well as 2,079 skill level whenever construction was released too. And if that doesn't impress you so far, he was also the very first player ever in all of RuneScape to achieve level 99 Slayer on the 9th of July in 2005 as well. Unfortunately, after the release of Summoning in 2008, he stated on his YouTube channel that the game was getting progressively easier over time and that he had lost a sense of accomplishment in what he had worked so hard to achieve, and now he just plays for fun instead of playing competitively. Even today, Zezima is still one of the most popular players in RuneScape, and in my opinion, it will probably stay that way until RuneScape has come and gone from the world. Number 5. The very first player to ever win a Golden Gnome Award from Jagex was the now retired videomaker and RuneScape player Excel. He was inspired by other videomakers such as Noob Show and actually won a RuneScape Machinima contest in 2009, along with lifetime RuneScape membership and a trip to Jagex in England. He made a special appearance at RuneFest 2010 and was announced the winner of the short story category in the first Golden Gnome Awards ever. For those of you who don't know, the Golden Gnome Award is an in-game Golden Gnome pet that is awarded to the winners at RuneFest events, as well as receiving a Golden Gnome hat in-game too. Like most pets, the gnome can be talked to, and it will tell some gnome-related jokes or talk about the achievement of winning it. To name a few of the 25 categories that a Golden Gnome can be awarded for are Best YouTube Channel, Top Ranking Player, Best Livestream, Best Voice Acting and Effects, and much more. It's definitely an honor to have one of these in-game, and Excel was the first. Unfortunately, he doesn't make videos anymore, posting his retirement announcement video on October 23rd, 2014. However, at one point in time, he was one of the most popular video makers in the RuneScape community. Number 4. The very first player to ever reach 99 construction, Cursed You. Now, I wouldn't normally include the first player to 99 construction on this list, however, this guy did, without knowing, cause the most infamous glitch in all of RuneScape when he decided to expel thousands of players outside of his newly constructed house with PvP mode still turned on. This glitch in the skill led to the infamous Falador massacre, and while so many players actually had the ability to attack outside of the wilderness, the only one who really went public with it was Duriel321. And Cursed You was manually disconnected by a JMod during the massacre and was banned for 4 hours. On the 25th of August in 2006, not long after the release of the construction skill earlier in the year, Cursed You's account was permanently banned for real-world trading. Number 3. Estonian RuneScape player who is still currently active today, Lovi, spelled L6VI, was the very first player to do quite a few things in RuneScape during 2001, shortly after RuneScape Classic was released. In Estonian, his name actually means lion, and Lovi was the first player to ever get a total level of 1100, 1200, 1300, and 1400. But perhaps what makes him so interesting is the fact that he was also the very first player to ever kill a Jagex moderator in the wilderness too, with that JMod being Andrew Gower, the creator of RuneScape. I would have been a little scared after doing something like that. Number 2. The very first player to ever sign up for RuneScape, excluding Jagex moderators, was a player named Rab. Rab, along with 4 other players at the time too, were also some of the original first members of Devious Mud as well, the version of RuneScape before RuneScape Classic even existed. What's interesting about Rab though is that he actually did have a Jagex moderator account, and the username of that JMod account was simply called Moderator. Rab also wrote the Romeo and Juliet quest around 4 or 5 months before the release of RuneScape Classic, using a form of scripting language that the Jagex uses to create content for RuneScape called RuneScript. Rab says in 2010, when the quest was removed by Jagex, that he wrote the quest partly because there were a few people speaking of quest writing, and he felt that if an outsider wrote one, then perhaps others would too, and that the community would grow bigger. As far as everyone knows as well, Rab still plays to this day. Number 1. So everybody knows that regular players cannot have the word mod in their username at all, right? Well, believe it or not, way before there were any restrictions about having the word mod in your username, a player actually signed up with the username Mod Element. This player was the first normal player without any administrator rights within the game to actually have the word mod in his name. And unfortunately, he was also the last player to ever have mod in his username too, because Jagex actually implemented the restriction after he made that account, and they required him to change his username later on. But what's quite hilarious about this situation is that today, currently, Mod Element is now the name of an actual Jagex moderator, and you can see So Wrecked here taking him on in the wilderness too. Thanks for watching, guys. I had a ton of fun making this video, and there's so many great firsts out there that have been achieved by players, and just because some of them weren't listed in this video, don't think that I'm trying to downgrade any player at all that has ever done something for the very first time in RuneScape that no other player has yet. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, why not leave a like, because this video actually took me somewhere around 10 hours to make because of all the research. I would really appreciate it, and if you dislike this video because you're jealous of the people in this video, then you go right ahead and dislike it too, my friend. I'm just kidding, guys. That's all I've got for you guys today, and I'll talk to you all later.